It's the phrase brains with hands and a plan that really gets me. I mean, we've spent the last few years basically talking to a very intelligent, very articulate brick wall. You ask it a question, it gives you a clever answer, and then nothing. It just sits there. But Google is officially calling 2025 the year of the agent, and they're moving past that brain in a jar phase. We're talking about AI that doesn't just talk about doing things, it actually goes out and does them.
Does them. That's the part that should make everyone a little nervous, right? We went from, hey, write me a poem about a toaster, to, hey, go into my bank account, book a flight to Tokyo, negotiate a corporate discount with the hotel, and while you're at it, update the quarterly budget. Giving a brain hands is one thing, but giving it a plan and a set of keys to your digital life, that feels like a massive leap of faith that I'm not sure we're ready for.
But that's exactly the point. It's the evolution from a chatbot to a digital employee. Think about the friction we deal with every day. If I want to organize a team offsite, I have to open 14 tabs, check everyone's calendars, look at flight prices, message a caterer, and fill out an expense report. An agent with logic and tool use, those hands we're talking about, can use APIs to talk to the airline system, the calendar app, and the corporate credit card. It's not just predicting text anymore, it's executing workflows.
Okay, but let's look at the logic part. Google says these agents use reasoning to break down complex goals. My concern is that LLMs are notorious for being confidently wrong. If a chatbot is confidently wrong about the capital of Kazakhstan, it's annoying. If an autonomous agent is confidently wrong while it's navigating my company's database or interacting with clients via API, that's a catastrophe. Are we really saying these things can reason well enough to be left unattended?
Well, that's where the memory component comes in. This is a huge part of the 2025 shift. Up until now, every time you started a new chat with an AI, it was like it had amnesia. You had to re-explain your preferences, your brand voice, your goals. These new agents are being built with persistent memory. They learn from their experiences. If an agent tries to book a meeting at 8 a.m. and you tell it, no, I'm never conscious before 9, it remembers that. It builds a profile of how you work. It's not just a tool, it's an assistant that actually gets better at its job the longer it works for you.
See, you say assistant, but Google is using the word employee. That's a very specific choice of vocabulary. An assistant helps you. An employee replaces a function. If I'm a mid-level manager and I can suddenly hire 10 digital agents for the price of a monthly subscription, why would I hire a human junior analyst? If the agent has hands to pull data and logic to synthesize it into a report, what's left for the entry-level human to do?
I think it shifts the human role towards being an architect or an orchestrator. Instead of doing the data entry, you're managing the agents that do the data entry. You're the one setting the plan that the brain with hands executes. Think about the sheer volume of busy work that eats up 60% of our day. If we can offload the logistical nightmare of modern work to an agent that doesn't get tired and doesn't forget details, doesn't that free us up for the actual creative problem solving?
That's the optimistic take. The cynical take is that we're creating a black box economy. If these agents are using APIs to interact with the world, they're basically talking to other agents. It's agents all the way down. You have a travel agent AI talking to an airline's booking agent AI. If something goes wrong in that communication, if there's a logic error or a hallucination during the API call, how do you even audit that? How do you find out where the hand slipped?
You audit it through the same logic layer Google is talking about. These agents provide a chain of thought. You can see the steps they took. It's not just, here is your ticket. It's, I checked these 3 sites, found this price, verified it against your calendar, and then executed the purchase. It's actually more transparent than a human doing it because every single micro decision is logged. And honestly, the utility aspect is what's going to win people over. Imagine a software developer who has a coding agent. It's not just suggesting a line of code. It's spinning up a test environment, running the code, finding the bugs, and fixing them before the human even looks at the pull request.
But isn't there a risk of agentic drift? You give an agent a goal, say, maximize my social media engagement. If it has hands and logic, it might decide the best way to do that is to start posting controversial AI-generated rage bait because that's what the algorithm wants. Without a human in the loop for every single micro-decision, the plan could align with the goal but violate the spirit of the task.
That's why the logic and reasoning models are the focus for 2025, rather than just making the models bigger. It's about making them smarter about constraints. Google's focus on agents isn't just about autonomy, it's about reliable autonomy. They're building guardrails directly into the reasoning process. And let's talk about the digital employee in a personal sense. We're moving towards a prime minister model of life. You are the leader, and you have a cabinet of digital ministers. One for your health, one for your finances, one for your work. They communicate with each other. Your health agent sees you're stressed and tells your work agent to clear your Friday afternoon.
That sounds like a sci-fi utopia or a dystopian nightmare, depending on how much you value your privacy. If these agents have memory, that means they are recording and analyzing every interaction you have. To be an effective digital employee, this AI has to know everything about you. It needs access to your emails, your photos, your GPS, your heart rate. We're essentially saying that to get the benefit of the year of the agent, we have to surrender the last shreds of our digital privacy to the companies building the brains.
Is that really any different from what we're doing now, though? We already give all that data to Google and Apple, but right now it's just sitting there being used to sell us ads. The agent revolution actually gives that data back to us in the form of utility. It turns our data into a workforce. I'd rather my data be used to save me 10 hours of work a week than to just show me a better ad for shoes I already bought.
Okay, let's talk about the hands again, the APIs. This is the technical backbone. For an agent to be an agent, the rest of the world has to be machine readable. If I want an agent to fix my plumbing, it can't because a sink is physical. But so much of our world is still analog digital. Websites designed for humans to click on, not for APIs to scrape. For the year of the agent to actually happen, doesn't the entire internet have to be rebuilt to accommodate these digital employees?
That's already happening. That's what the shift towards headless services and robust API ecosystems is all about. Companies are realizing that if their service isn't agent-friendly, they're going to lose business. If I can tell my AI, buy me a new blender, and it can't interact with a specific store's website because it's poorly coded, it'll just go to Amazon or a store that is agent-compatible. The economy will move towards the path of least resistance for the agents.
Which brings me back to my main worry, the loss of human agency. If the agents are doing the planning, the executing, and the remembering, what are we doing? If we delegate our logic to the brain with hands, do our own brains get a little softer? We've already seen how GPS has made people worse at navigating. What happens when we have decision agents that tell us who to hire, what to eat, or how to phrase a sensitive email?
I think it makes us more human, not less. It removes the robotic parts of being a person. I don't think anyone feels particularly human while they're copy-pasting data between spreadsheets or trying to find a time for a 10-person Zoom call. Those are the tasks that turn us into robots. By giving those tasks to the digital employees, we get to spend our time on the things AI can't do: the high-level strategy, the emotional intelligence, the creative leaps. Google isn't saying the agent is the boss. They're saying the agent is the utility, like electricity. You don't think about how the light turns on. You just focus on what you're going to do now that you can see.
I hope you're right, but I suspect 2025 is going to be a very messy year of transition. We're going to see agentic errors that we can't even imagine yet. We're going to see legal battles over who is responsible when an agent signs a contract it wasn't supposed to. It's one thing to have a brain in a jar. It's quite another when that brain starts reaching out and grabbing things.
It's going to be a wild ride, for sure. But the moment you experience that first agentic win, when you realize a complex, multi-step project just happened while you were at the gym or playing with your kids, there's no going back. The digital employee is officially punching the clock. The only question is, what are you going to do with all that extra time?
Probably spend it trying to figure out why my agent just ordered 400 pounds of artisanal goat cheese because of a logic glitch.
Hey, at least you'll have plenty of cheese while you're figuring it out. That's a win in my book.